Hey guys, so we are taking a different spin on this vlog. Um, I'm going to talk about something that's extremely hard for me to talk about, and I've kind of kept it under wraps for a very long time, and actually a few people only really know, and the people who have met me know, or they've never noticed, I don't know. So yeah, if you are freaked out by surgical scars or skin disorders or anything, you may want to click off this video. It may not be the one for you. Well, not skin disorder. I have eczema. It's not that bad. But if scars or anything like that creep you out, then you may not want to watch. But I would appreciate it if you did. So hopefully I don't get too upset because I've already filmed this one time and I didn't make it through. So let's try again. Yeah. So 1 in every 500 to 1,000 births. That's how many babies are born with clubfoot. And for those of you who do not know me, do not know my story, hi, my name is Courtney, and I was born with clubfoot. And for those of you who do not know what clubfoot is, and you're wondering, clubfoot is where the foot or both feet are twisted to one extreme or another. More than likely, they're twisted inward instead of outward. I mean, I think I have heard of cases where the foot is outward, but most commonly the foot is twisted inward. And later on, I'll show you what my foot looks like. But when I was born with the second worst clubfoot that Georgia doctors had ever seen or attempted to fix at the time. And my mom told me that when I was born, she saw my foot and just immediately burst into tears. And it's not because my mom's a shallow, vain person, because that's not the case at all. She just didn't think I could be helped. And that scared her. And it also scares me because I have over a 50% chance of my children being born with it. Which is horrible. Because I don't want my kids to feel the way that I did growing up. I remember going through school, and when I was little, I had no idea anything was wrong with me. I thought that this was the way that you were supposed to look, and I thought that was the way your feet looked. I thought I was a normal person. And I remember the last day I wore shorts to school, I was in 4th grade. 4th grade. That's how young it started. I remember I was called names as Frankenfoot, or a science experiment, or a circus freak. And I'm none of those. If anything, I'm lucky because I can actually walk. So yeah, if any nickname fits me, then it would be lucky, because when I was little, they told me that if I did not have the surgery, then I wouldn't be walking today. There was no way. And it breaks my heart that in third world countries, people are born with clubfoot and there's nothing that they can do about it. They just develop and grow and try to learn how to walk like a normal person, but a lot of times they can't. And it's sad because they can't do anything about it. So when I was very little, I was only a few months old. I can't remember if I was 3 or 6 months old. But when I was a newborn, they put a cast on my foot to try to make my foot grow into place properly. And my mom said I wore that cast for so long, and it was so big. She said it covered my entire leg. And she has videos of me like crawling around the house or playing with my dad or my brother, and my mom said that as soon as they took the cast off, and they're like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, this may just work. My mom said that they took the cast off and I had a perfect little foot sitting there, and they're like, oh, it worked, and my foot turned right back in. So they did the first reconstructive surgery to try to build my foot when I was a very, very small baby. Over the years, of course, things shift. Things start to grow into place as they should, And of course my foot kind of looks a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, my foot does look odd, and it doesn't surprise me that people ask me about it. I think the thing that offends me the most is when people come up to me and they say, "What's wrong with you?" There's nothing wrong with me. I have a club foot, or had a club foot, and I have eczema. There's nothing wrong with me though. And I think that's extremely rude, for someone just to come up to you and say, "What's wrong with you?" I don't think I built my confidence about my foot, like wearing shorts as I am right now, or anything until I was maybe in middle school. I was definitely in middle school, because I remember I spent 6th and 7th grade doing everything I possibly could to avoid having PE, because I felt like if people saw my foot, they would spark conversation with me, and I didn't want them to. I didn't want to be picked on again, because I had moved schools when I was in elementary school, and it was not because I was picked on. I just wanted it, and I wanted a change, even though I was in the 4th grade. But I remember when I was in 8th grade, I met my best friend Candace, and like in 9th grade, it seems like we had a conversation, and she's like, "Why do you always wear pants? It's 110 degrees outside. Why are you wearing pants?" And I was like, "I have a deformed foot, basically." And I remember her so clearly saying, "So? And I'm light skinned and I can wear your makeup. What's the difference?" And I remember like a couple weeks after that, I was in 9th grade at this time, and I wore capris to school, and I only had like one person ask me, "Hey, what happened to your foot, dude? Did you break it?" And I was like, I guess you can kind of say that. But when I was in 10th grade, I broke my foot again. Like, I legit broke my foot. I actually broke my foot in 4 places and had to have a second reconstructive surgery to repair the bones that were broken, which I'll show you later. I'll point out which ones were broken, and to repair my growth plate, because I completely destroyed it. I mean, I busted it all off. And it was very hard going through school. I remember before I was in high school and before I was comfortable again, I remember I would ask my mom. I was like, "Mom, please, when you take me to Atlanta, can we please find out what they can do to fix this and to make me look normal?" And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, and my mom's very good at giving like cold hard truth. She was like, "Courtney, there's nothing that they can do for your foot. If anything, you should be grateful, because yours actually kind of looks normal and you don't have a serious problem. You have a cosmetic problem that you just need to get over." And it was the truth. And for that, my parents were really awesome. Like I said, when I was little, I didn't think anything was wrong with me. I was raised normal, and if I wanted to do sports, my parents were like, "We'll figure this out. We will make this work for you. If we have to get you custom shoes so you can run a mile, we'll get you custom shoes so you can run a mile. If you want to go do gymnastics, we'll figure that out too. We'll cross that bridge." And I just hope that whenever I have kids, if they were born with this, that I can be the supportive person that they were for me. Because it means so much. And I never really said thank you for that. I really don't want to cry on a vlog. It's so hard. So yeah, I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. But yeah, when I was 16 years old, I broke my foot once again for the final time, and I'll tell you why for the final time in a little bit. But I was walking downstairs. I was working, and I was walking downstairs, and my foot popped, but it was not a normal pop. It was like very severe. I felt it like through my shoe. It was the most bizarre feeling I've ever felt in my life. I've broken bones before. Like, I've messed up my knee, which is also another problem wrong with me, is that knee on that leg is also messed up permanently. But I was walking downstairs, and I remember I was carrying some drinks, and I felt the pop, and I was like, "That's not good." And I got home that night, and I remember I walked through the door, and I just started crying, and I was like, "Mom, I've done something. Something's wrong. I've messed my foot up." And my mom was like, I'm sure you're okay. It's probably just hurting like it always does. Let's just sleep on this and then we'll see what we can do tomorrow if you feel better. And I remember I woke up the next day and I stood up and I instantly fell down because it hurt so bad. And I remember my dad's kind of like a typical Southern man. He's very tough. He's like, oh, you're fine. You're probably spraying something. It's okay. Walk it off. And my mom was like, she can't walk it off. She can't even walk. So, my mom took me to a doctor who wasn't normally my doctor. It was kind of like just like in and out kind of place, like a small hospital basically. And he did x-rays on my foot and he said, I see no fracture. And I remember my mom looking at me and she like looked back and she's like, he's joking. There's no way. So my mom called the doctor who actually saw me when I was a newborn. And I can remember like the next day, I think I went to the specialist. So it had to be the next day or like shortly after. And I went to the specialist. He saw me when I was born and he did an x-ray and he came in the room and he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you broke your foot in 4 places and have completely messed up your growth plate. You're looking at surgery. And I was like, oh, great. But I spent my entire senior year on cast and crutches. I did not walk again. And I had my surgery June of 2008. I did not walk again until April of 2009. That is how long it was. And I remember one of the girls who didn't typically like me in high school. I mean, most people were okay with helping me get back and forth between classes, even if it meant that they were going to be late and they were going to be in trouble. Most people didn't care to help me carry my books because I couldn't. And I remember one girl, my English teacher was like, hey, will you help her get to her next class because she obviously can't. We're the last 2 in class, and she looks at me and she's like, why would I help her? And she walked out. And I remember I started like tearing up, and the teacher looked at me and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I asked her, I was like, why are you sorry? And she's like, because you've had to deal with this your whole life. And I couldn't imagine. And I remember I looked back at her and I said, don't feel sorry for me. I've been dealing with it for 18 years. What makes me think that anything will be different now? And I shouldn't have to feel that way. And that's like I've been saying all along, that my parents had to be some of the best parents ever. And I'm actually thankful that I was born with this because it taught me a lot. It taught me not to judge people by their looks. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you look like. I love you for who you are until you give me a reason not to. And I think I learned that because of my foot. Which I guess sounds a little silly saying it, but it honestly gave me sympathy towards others. And I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. If someone is obviously dealing with something, you don't walk away from them. You don't refuse a person by the way they look or over something that they can't help. And I'm okay. I will be fine. It's just whatever. I've learned to deal with it. I'm always going to be hurt by it. I'm always going to feel pain by it because I can't really feel most of my foot. And I'm going to have arthritis by the time I'm 30. But it's okay because this is the hand that I was dealt. But if you are living with a deformity, or anyone that you know is living with a deformity, then I suggest you just be there for them, because I promise you they're dealing with a lot. And they'll always deal with a lot. Because I tell myself a lot, I'm like, I'm fine, and then I break down again and people are like, oh my god, or wow, I'm surprised you can walk, or why does it look like that, or what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me. So yeah, I really didn't want to cry in a vlog. But whatever. So yeah, guys, sorry my voice is so shaky. It's shaky because I just filmed that last scene. I probably should have done this first, but before I reveal to you guys what my foot looks like, here's my toes. But fun little fact, when I was little, I called this my, and it's obviously my right foot. You can kind of see the scar. When I was little, I called this my baby foot because it's visibly smaller than the left. And I'm not doing a camera trick on you guys. It's literally smaller than the left. So, there's my foot, as you can see, and there's my little bit of eczema showing right there. But, so yes, when I was born, let me take my left foot out of this equation. When I was born, this side of my foot was touching my leg, like right here. So, I wasn't born with a normal ankle. They pretty much had to build one. As you can see, they tried. This was the first scar that I had. That's where they went in to basically position my toes and try to put them in a normal spot. And this is the scar that lines the back of my ankle. That right there. They cut from there to there to try to build my ankle, and I actually have a scar on the bottom of my foot that, I mean, it's probably like an inch long. I had pins running all the way up to my knee, and as a baby, that's pretty extreme. So, yeah, there's my foot. And I can't really, okay, like with this foot, with my left foot, I can do all kinds of things. I can twist it, I can spread my toes apart, I can bend them, and do all kinds of stuff. With this foot, I can't. The farthest I can lift it is right there, or it starts hurting really bad. I can't bend my toes that well. They don't bend. It feels extremely weird when I do that, so I try not to do that. This wasn't problems I had. I didn't have these problems until my second surgery, basically. My second surgery, I told you guys I broke my foot in 4 places. I broke all 4 toe bones going across right here. So, essentially now, I have a screw going from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. And they had to, I keep saying prepare, but I mean repair my growth plate. So my second scar runs from here to here. It's faded now. It did a really good job at not really showing. But yeah. After the second surgery, I remember I wanted to see my foot so bad, and when they took the cast off, I was like, oh wow. It looks completely different, because from my first surgery, all this over here was kind of caved in as well, like it is right here. So after the second surgery, they kind of went in and they kind of bolted this up a little bit. I don't know what was different, but something was definitely different. I was kind of upset that I couldn't bend my toes, and my doctor was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do anything. And basically my doctor told me, he was like, if you break this foot one more time, you're done. There's nothing we can do to help you. So, yeah. There's my foot, guys. It looks so different. It looks like 2 different people putting their foot together. But I love it, and I'll deal with it. It's my baby foot. So yeah, there's my foot. If you made it this far, awesome. But I hope you guys maybe learned something or whatever. I'm sorry this video was so all over the place, but it was an extremely emotional vlog for me, obviously. It's hard for me to talk about in front of a camera, and I really didn't expect that. I thought I was going to be able to make it through just fine, but I didn't. It's okay. But yeah, I hope you guys aren't freaked out too bad by my little baby foot. I can't really feel it, I guess you can say. It doesn't bother me, in case anyone's wondering. I do have like arthritic pain, which he said is normal. Like my doctor said, I will develop arthritis probably early 30s in it, just because it has so many surgeries done on it, and such invasive, severe surgeries. And I have severe nerve damage and pain. Sometimes when I'm walking, it feels like electric shocks going through my foot, and it's really scary. And sometimes I can't feel my foot, which is also scary, but it's perfectly normal because of all the damage that's been done over the years. But other than that, I'm okay. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me. I'm an open book, obviously. I just showed you guys my foot. I just showed the internet my foot. My mom is probably over there sobbing at her computer, and I'm sorry, Mom. But I just wanted to thank you for being there for me all through these years and being my rock. And maybe this is some stuff that you didn't even know about. So maybe you learned something, I don't know. But, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, as always. Hope you guys are having a great day in the world, wherever you are. I'm about to go get something to eat because it's getting dark. So, yeah. See ya!